My name is Jinal Gandhi. I am a senior undergraduate student at Boston College, and here we are in the lab of Dr. Trisha Bordeaux. So I'm one of her 3 undergraduate students, and so mainly I assist on some of the projects that our PhD student Jess is working on, as well as some of the projects Trisha has, looking at different types of cells, which will hopefully be able to tell us how quickly different neurological defects of AIDS presents. So I am from the Hudson Valley in New York. I came to Boston College to do my undergraduate. I am a biochemistry major, and unlike some of the other people in the lab, I'm actually pre-med, so I'm also applying to medical school right now. And for me, research was really important because as a doctor, you're not necessarily doing research every day, but I think it's important to understand where the medicines you prescribe even come from, or to have kind of this deeper understanding of what diseases your patients might be facing, and kind of have a more complete picture of disease, I guess, from the bench in a lab to the bedside of a patient. One of the things that I think is really important as an undergraduate is to be able to explore an area that you're not really comfortable with, and so immunology is something that I didn't know a lot about until joining Dr. Bordeaux's lab. So I definitely wanted a project that kind of had a lot to do with immunology because I knew I would learn the most. And so when I look at these different cell populations, we're looking for these different immune markers, and because I knew so little about it, I was so interested in it. So there's this fancy software that comes with this really expensive microscope that they actually don't even allow the undergraduates to touch because it's that valuable. But fortunately, Jess is a pretty good mentor, and she's let me play around with it a little bit. And basically, when you stain cells, sometimes you don't get the image to be as rich as you want it to be, or the color. And so even from that aspect, you kind of feel like you're a photographer and you're just playing around with it, seeing if, you know, the colors could change. Maybe if you change the stain from purple to blue, you might be able to see it better. So there's that aspect of it, but then there's also looking at the data on a computer and utilizing softwares to count up all the data for you, take the averages, so that you're not actually plugging it all into a calculator, taking multiple hours. You know, you can just press a couple of buttons on the computer, and it's really cool that that's possible. I thought I always wanted to be a pediatrician because I have a lot of younger cousins, and it just seemed like it would be very fun to work with kids. But I think the more that I learn, the less that I realize I know about a lot of different fields. And so I feel like it's really hard for me today, especially, to say what kind of doctor I'd like to be. But I know that just in this lab, I've learned so much about the immune system, and I've become really interested in stuff like, why do so many more people have allergies today? Why can't I take that peanut butter sandwich to school like I used to be able to? And I know nothing about that, and maybe specializing in allergy and immunology will be something I end up doing. But it's kind of cool to know that I have a lot of different options. I think one of the greatest things about being in science is you meet a lot of people who are really, really intelligent and really motivated. And that means that they do love science and they love what they're doing, but they also aren't afraid of enjoying different activities. And one of the great things about BC is, yes, I'm a biochemistry major, I work in a lab, but there are a lot of other opportunities while also pursuing the sciences. Like, for right now, I am doing a hula dance at BC, or I am a nutrition coach on campus, and I get to help select some of the menus at the dining halls. And there's a lot you can do. You know, pick something that you're really excited and passionate about, and I think science is one of those things that allows you the flexibility to also pursue some of your other interests, so it doesn't have to be one and not the other.